I'd pay $1,000 to get this done. Well, that looks way better than I anticipated. If you got a vision for your car and you want to bring it to life, I'm telling you right now, just do it, because the feeling of fulfillment that I have right now is completely unmatched. Today is the day that I finally start installing my custom livery on my S197 Drift Mustang. Now, before you get to this point, there's a couple things you need to do. The first one is find somebody to design your livery. Now, I chose Livery Delivery on Instagram, and he brought my vision to life. Now, getting the design is really just half the battle. Then you need to get it printed just like this. Now, Livery Delivery, they work hand in hand with Super Wow Factory, so finding a printer was super easy. If you choose a different designer and printer, I don't know the quality and I don't know the design that you're gonna get, but basically, once Livery Delivery finishes your design, they send you the file, you send it to your printer, and they're able to print everything out for you. Now, I wanna add, I'm not sponsored by either one of those two companies. It just took me a really long time to find exactly what I was looking for and getting it done in a timely manner and a friendly price point. So I just want to go ahead and share my knowledge and my experience so far. I'm pretty pleased, but be warned, if you're going to install this yourself, it ain't easy. So the power of YouTube is extremely powerful, because it's gonna look like this took like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes at max. But no, I've been here for about 3.5 hours. So let me show you what I've got done so far. Now, there was only minor cuss words used to get to this point, but I'm feeling really good about it. So the tough part was that one of the cutouts, you can see right here, is extremely long, and it went to the bottom of the car. So then I had to fold it over, get it into that crease, cut it up. And then I went into this crazy corner where I've got the scoop, the door, the back of the scoop, all the way up. You got that hump right there in the rear quarter. So I had to really take my time, heat everything up, and get everything molded so it fit nice. And then I had to, of course, cut it right here so you still get the illusion that it's one piece from back here. But yeah, that was pretty tough, but I went ahead and got that done. Which brings me to one of my next points, and that's the tools you need if you're gonna attempt to do this yourself. You know, now that I think about it, I see why people were quoting me $1,000. At this point in the day, I'd pay $1,000 to get this done. Since this is a good place for me to take a break real quick so I can cool off, let's talk about some of the tools you're gonna need, right? One, it's gonna be a heat gun. So this is a Craftsman heat gun. I've had this for like 6 years. Thing's a unit, use it on low heat and low blow pressure, I don't know what you call it, just to warm up the vinyl enough to get it to mold, because if you put it on super hot, it almost like melts the vinyl. You don't want that. You just want to be able to form the vinyl into those crevices without it getting way too loose and then it stretches out. The next thing is I've been using these felt squeegees, a blade. These are primarily used for tinting, and I've got another little tool. So one of these tools to get into all those corners and crevices when you want to push the vinyl in there. Now I got this kit off Amazon, and it's got pretty much everything you need in there. It comes with a blade. I did purchase this blade extra because I knew I was going to go through some blades. Basically it has everything in this kit that you need, and it includes 2 of these felt squeegees. But yeah, you can get that kit, not the heat gun, but you can get that kit, and it comes with these gloves actually, in my Amazon link down below if you want to go ahead and use that kit. I think it may be like 15 bucks, don't quote me. Whew. All right, day 2. So today the plan is pretty much to go ahead and put all the sponsor logos on the driver's side of the car and get this side pretty much done. Now I was laying the little coquilles and the Taino suns. They're taking place of like the traditional Japanese stars on liveries. And I realized that once I start laying down the sponsor logos, because I don't know exactly where I'm gonna put them, I might actually block some of those. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the sponsor logos first for this side and then finish laying out those little pieces. And one more thing to point out. So when you do get your livery, it's not 100% exact or like true to size, for example. So I'm using the rendering to kind of map out where I'm gonna lay everything. There was a couple of pieces that if I were to lay them where they were on the design, it looked almost too busy for me. So I did remove and move some of the livery pieces around, so it just flowed better for my taste, and it just didn't look too crazy or too busy. One of the examples is actually up here on the fender. I have this really big piece of vinyl, as you can see, and when I tried to measure it up, it just made it too busy, especially when I was gonna put the sponsor logos there. So you might end up with some extra pieces. Well, that looks way better than I anticipated. So let me show you guys. Let's not waste any time. Yeah, don't mind the mess. I'm whooped. This whole side complete has taken me 2 days. And it's pretty difficult, but I am really happy with the way that everything has come out. Now, as you can see, you can hear it, I'm stepping all over it, but there's a lot of little extra pieces left that I kind of just went ahead and filled in some gaps to fill in the design just a little bit more. And like I said, I did end up covering a couple of Taino Suns and a couple of the Coquis, but what I did was, let's see if I can find one, is with the heat gun, is I really heated up the vinyl, so it's almost, there you go, you can see it right there. So there's this one, and then there's this one up here, again, very hidden, and one more. Okay, no, I didn't cover that one completely, but part of him was covered up. So once I was done laying down all the vinyl, then I went ahead and filled in the gaps with the Coquis and the Taino Suns. All right, so instead of flipping this entire car around and doing the other side, it's kind of parked in a really good spot that I can go ahead and knock out the hood graphics. So that's what I'm gonna do now. All right, guys, as you saw, the livery on the Mustang is complete. It took me about 4 days to get everything done, and I didn't want to bore you guys with just installing wrap. They're just kind of giant stickers, but the final product is absolutely amazing. As you saw in those rollers, courtesy of my good friend Ethan on February. He's the one that filmed at the first drift event. We had a whole gimbal set up on his car to get those shots. But let's take a look at the livery. I never quite explained the full inspiration of where that style came from. All right, so the Tirado Racing logo is the one I originally used on the Autocross Track Challenger, and of course it's the logo on my t-shirt. It is my original logo, so I wanted to go ahead and use that. I don't have a lot of sponsors that pay me, so of course I am the title sponsor on this car, but I have gotten a ton of help from different companies. Status, BC Racing, Tire Streets, Livery Delivery designed the entire livery that you see here. I posted that on Instagram. The Resto Mod Shop, or RMS Customs and Fab, as you guys know, I've done a lot of work with them. They just painted these scoops and the Shelby GT500 rear bumper. Hella Bad Garage, aka Hella Bad Broncos, they've done a lot of work. They welded the rear diff, they set up my front power steering and my rack. They changed all that stuff out for me. Accelera Tires, I rep them because those are the tires that I'm using, and that's basically the bulk of the livery. Last but most certainly not least is the Make It Modular. I'm rocking their billet angle kit. It's Matt Sopa's company. You might know him as Sopa on Europa from Formula Drift, sending all the cars out in grid. Now I wanted something that would scream this is a drift car. So I wanted the livery to be wild, and I think we nailed it. So what you're seeing is like American style. You've got a Ford Mustang with flames on it, and I put in one of my posts that it kind of reminds me of Razor from Need for Speed Most Wanted. But inside the flame shapes, it's actual flames, as you can kind of see right there. So there's actual fire in the flames. And the last part of that is, in traditional Japanese liveries, you kind of see like stars and other little shapes, but I wanted to bring my Puerto Rican heritage into it, so I replaced the stars with the Taino sun and the Taino coquis. So you'll see all that throughout the livery. All right, one other change that I made is I threw on the Raxium V3 tail lights that you can see here, and to me that really rounded out the look of this car. Now when I go drifting, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and put the stock tail lights back on, because these bad boys were expensive. There's a lot of things that I've done to this Mustang to get it to where it's at, and I don't want to dive into that into this video. I really just wanted to talk about the livery. So in my next video, I'm actually going to do a complete build breakdown with links to all the parts that I used, my current setup on the car, which I'm going to give you guys a heads up. Turtle Media, aka Isaac, and his 5.0 Mustang, we're pretty much running the same setup, same coilovers, same spring rates, that kind of stuff, but I'll get into those nitty-gritty details in the next video, and I'm gonna do a complete build breakdown on this car. So if you have an S197 and you're looking to see what I did, the parts that I used, then we can go ahead and talk about all that stuff. Now in the world of drift, in the world of cars, somebody's always going to say something. Now recently I've heard some YouTubers say you don't want to be that guy showing up with a full-blown livery to your first drift event. I've only done 2 drift events and they haven't gone that hot, right? But I'm here to tell you that it's not a waste. It makes me happy. This is the vision I have for my car. If you got a vision for your car and you want to bring it to life, I'm telling you right now, just do it, because the feeling of fulfillment that I have right now is completely unmatched. But that's going to wrap up today's video, guys. You know what to do. Hit that like button, leave a comment below, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, peace out.